Hi everyone, welcome back to another Yoga Magnifica class with Nathia. So today's class is going to be focused on relaxation. So feel free to grab a bunch of pillows or a bolster, maybe a block, maybe a strap, and get a nice comfortable yoga mat underneath you. If you don't have a mat, you can roll up a throw, a blanket, whatever makes you comfortable, and have a seat on the floor. We are going to start today in a different position on our front or prone. So again, if you feel like you could use a little bit more padding, so I have a thicker mat here, but even so, it would be kind of nice to have a nice layer of blanket rolled up underneath me, so when I lay down on my front, I don't feel kind of rigid or uncomfortable. So go ahead and get yourself ready, and when you are set up and ready to go, we'll meet on the mat lying down on our front. So come on down, let yourself come onto your forearms, maybe place your forehead down on top of your hands, or if you have a lot of abundance in your front, which some people have, go ahead and grab a small pillow, place it underneath your head, or even use a block, and you can kind of surround your arms around that area and allow yourself to place the forehead down. Okay, so whatever height for your head in relation to your chest is more comfortable, please feel free to set yourself up. We will be here for a number of minutes, so just take a moment to really get comfortable and then find your way down on the mat. Let's begin by sinking down into our foundation, feeling the floor beneath us, the rise and fall of the breath as it moves up and in, and that same rhythm, exhaling and letting it go, melting down all the way. Notice the floor supporting you, down on your front, feeling the earth rising up to meet your forehead, your arms, your chest. Feel it gently push back as you breathe in. Feel it supporting you as you breathe out. Let yourself melt down a little bit more into the earth. Allow your legs to become heavier, as though they are dissolving into the ground. Then just notice how you feel at this present moment. And then perhaps notice what kind of thoughts are permeating your mind. Are they helpful to you? Do they help you relax or feel at peace? If you have any thoughts that do not help you in this way, just let them go. Let them fall away for the moment. Just focus on your breath and the support of your body from the earth beneath. going to begin now with some movement. You can keep your head on the floor with your eyes closed. All we're going to do is pick up our feet, keeping the knees down. Let the heels hover over your bottom and just sway your legs from side to side, feeling the quadricep muscles massaging into the floor, feeling the weight of your legs tipping from side to side, and giving your low back a little bit of a twist. Another little massage, loosening up all the tightness near the seat and your lower back. Go ahead and make the side to side motion a little bit bigger. See if you can tip your heels closer towards the floor for each movement, each sway. But keep the movement slow so you can be aware of every sensation that happens as your body moves and changes. And let's pause with the feet over top the center. We're going to start with some circles. So begin to draw your feet over to the right and then sort of extend them out back before curling back into the left and around again. So you're just going to draw some little circles by keeping your knees on the floor, but moving all the lower limbs instead. Take care to breathe, perhaps inhaling for one half of the circle and exhaling the other half. Let's pause and we'll go the other direction. So begin to sway to the left, extend back to the right, and around again. Keep your breath flowing slowly, just as we did at the beginning of class. And also seeing if you can really link your movement to your breath. Notice if you're rushing one or the other. And just take note and care to slow it down. From here, let's bring the feet back, up over the center, and then extend them back, laying them down on the fronts of the feet. Let's take a nice long full body stretch this time, just gently lifting the head. We'll extend the arms long in front of us. Look down and then just stretch your hands forward and stretch your feet back. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale. Exhale. Last inhale. Exhale, slowly release. And then from here, walk your hands in. Come up onto your elbows. Grab your block and set it underneath your forehead. Keep your hands just by your sides, elbows down. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. And then notice what's happening with the tops of your thighs. Are they clenching? Are you trying to hold yourself up? Just try to relax your pelvis. Let it just melt into the earth. Soften your thighs and let the center of your back, your spine, just relax. Think about sinking into this pose. And then breathing deep through your back, through your kidneys. Exhaling, find more release. We'll spend a few moments more in this gentle back bend. These are particularly good if you've been sitting in a slouched position for a long time. Helps to create more mobility for the spine, or flexibility. So often when we're hunched forward, we lose this mobility to bend back and keep the spine healthy. Slowly begin to lift your head. You can move the block out of your way. We're going to come into another stretch here for the spine, sacrum. If you have SI joint issues, this is a really good one. It's called tree frog pose. So what we're going to do is come back down onto our front. So you can cross the arms and come down low. Now, we're going to take the left toes. You can look at my toes here, and I'm going to face them away. So I'm going to open up my hip. Pick up my knee and draw it up towards my hip. Now, it doesn't have to be all the way up. It can be a little lower. I can tuck my foot in like tree pose, or I can let it hang out and lay it on its side. And then from here, face forward, and I'm going to add just a little bit of a side bend. So I'm going to come up onto my elbows and just shimmy my upper body to the left. So same side as that bent knee. Come into a gentle side bend. Reach my right arm over and lay down on that arm. So I'm going to actually look onto my left side, place my left hand down in front of me to just prop myself up and just melt into this pose. See if you can relax the left hip crease, left side of your back, and let everything soften down. Take a few breaths, filling up slow. Exhaling, really melting down. Very slowly walk your left hand back towards you. You can lift your head and tuck your right arm under. You're going to come back to the center and straighten your back leg, your left leg, sorry, and then come onto your front. We're going to set up for the other side. So begin by turning your right toes off to the side of the mat. Lift your knee and just shimmy it up towards your hip. And then walk yourself over to the right. Extend your left arm and lay yourself down onto your side, right hand in front of the face. Settle down into your position. Find the floor beneath you, almost like you're going to give it a nice big hug and melt right into that embrace. Find some depth in your breathing. Let it extend long. Letting your body follow your mind. Let it focus on this rhythm. Take one more inhale here. And another exhale. Begin to straighten your right leg. Walk yourself up and come back to center. Let's take another nice long stretch in a prone position. So extend your arms out like Superman. Drop your head. Take a deep breath in. Maybe come up onto your fingertips. Lift your head. Point your toes back. Now, if you want to make this a little bit more challenging, you could try lifting your feet off the ground. Maybe lifting both arms off the ground. This is a little bit more of a strengthening pose, but it gets blood flow into your spinal muscles and strengthens up your back. Okay, so if you don't like that and you prefer to have your hands down, you get a nice stretch and back bend this way. Maybe flare your toes, give them a little wiggle, and then slowly release. Whew. Wiggle your heels from side to side. Take a few moments here to really enjoy this nice stillness on the front body. And then we're going to make our way onto our hands and knees. So very slowly, tuck your hands or your elbows underneath and press up. Walk your knees in. Come on to tabletop position for a moment. We're going to take some cat-cows. So drop your belly, look forward. Almost press your wrist towards your knees. And then exhale, push it back. So almost like you're trying to push the mat away. Drop your head. Inhale, bring the belly down, tailbone up. Pull wrist towards knees. And exhale, roll it back. One more time through. And exhale. This time, come back to a regular tabletop position, and we'll take a nice long stretch with the left leg back, cross it over to the right, and plug your toes down. Now push into your hands to straighten up, and then look over towards the toes on your right side. Breathe into your left side body. Slowly release. Bring the knees together and extend your right leg back and cross it over, plant the toes on the floor. Again, push into your hands and then gently take a look to the left. Breathing in. Breathing out. Another cycle of breath here. And then return. From here, just begin to rock from side to side. Let your head drop. Let your shoulders roll. Let your hips sway. Do it nice and slow. Release any kinks in your shoulders. Kind of creating an S shape as you sway from the top of your head down to your tailbone. Now let's come back to center. We'll make our way into one of my favorites, child's pose. So let's bring those knees wide to the edge of the mat with the big toes to touch. Now I have my bolster here today, and I'm going to show you how you can use it to make it really cozy for yourself. So you're going to plug it just in between your knees and come forward, and you want to make sure that there's a good amount of bolster here for your face. So you can turn to the side. You can even take off your glasses like I'm going to do, and lay your head down with the hands on either side, and then just sink your tailbone down a little more and just let yourself lay here for a bit. It's really, really nice. So if you don't have a bolster, you can grab a couple of pillows, a big sofa pillow, or whatever. This is fairly firm, so sometimes pillows at home need to be stacked in order to get this kind of volume. So play around with your props at home, make it really comfy. Pause the video if you need to, because it's really worth it to have this nice thing to hug onto. It's very grounding, very comforting. So once you're settled in here, just let everything relax. Close your eyes, perhaps. And then just keep breathing. Allow that breath to be your focus. Let it remind you where you are and what you're doing. Let it clear the way for any clutter that's not helping you, any thoughts that keep floating back that are not helpful. Focus on this lovely sensation of rest and peace. Let it be the focus for your mind and your body. Inhale one more time. And exhale. Soften out. Exhaling all grip or tension out of the body. We'll just press ourselves off the mat, off the bolster or pillows. And then slowly bring that set of pillows forward. We're going to have a seat with the knees together. Walk over to the left and sit on your right hip. So using the pillows in front of you, bring them nice and close. So what we're going to do is have the knees and the shins kind of flush with the long edge of your mat. And then we're going to look at the pillows or the bolster set onto the side and frame our hands on either side of the pillows. Now turn your chest so that it's facing the pillow or the bolster, and then walk your way down. So you're going to lay your front on the pillow. Now you could begin to turn your head and lay it onto your bolster like we did in child's pose. Same direction as your knees. Hands can be on either side, or you can take your right arm, you can extend it out like an airplane and lay down and give sort of the front of your chest and shoulder a little stretch. So this is just a variation of a twist, but we're doing it prone versus on our backs. We'll just spend a few moments here in our prone twist. Really fill up your left side with breath. Taking your time and letting the breath move slowly in and out. Slowly bring your right hand in. Use both hands on either side to push yourself up. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So that means coming back to a tabletop position. Once you're on your knees, walk over to the left side and then sit down on your left hip. We want to frame the pillow with the hands again. So you're going to turn your belly button towards the floor, chest towards the floor, and then walk your way down, placing your belly and chest on the pillow. Now we're going to turn and face the right side, same as the knees. And if you want, as you're coming down, extend your left arm out and allow that front portion of your shoulder to get a little more stretch. Slowly bring that left hand in, push your way up, walk back to a seated position. And then from here, we're going to turn back onto our knees. Have a little seat onto your heels if you can, or you can come up high if it bothers you. We're just going to set up for the next pose. I'm going to show you a variation of pigeon that you can try. There's lots of different ways we can come into pigeon. Some people find it a really difficult pose, but there's different ways to break it down. So the first one I would invite you into is, if you know that pigeon's really hard for you, is to sit back onto your right side. And so you notice the knees are stacked, and bring your top leg, your left leg, slightly away, and bring your right knee out in front. So all you're going to do in this sort of zigzag position is turn towards your right knee and maybe hold on to a bolster or a block, and just put your weight into your hands gently so you can stay here. Now you can come down onto your elbows. You can come down onto your face. You can do this stretch without and hang out here. So that's your first option, where it has a lot of options within the option. And then your second option is to come into a deeper pigeon pose. So if you notice in this position, I'm still on my right hip. Those of you who can go a little deeper might want to try straightening your top leg so that when you're facing the floor, you're going to try to get your left knee to straighten back and turn your hip down, knee down, so that all of you is facing the floor. Okay, so you're not hanging back on your right hip. So if you want to do that, you can try that variation. And again, use a block or a bolster to prop yourself up according to your preferred height. So sometimes people come into this and are like, yeah, I can do this, but I really need my hands up high. So you can use a block, even a low chair seat. You can come in between, etc. You get the deal. So do what feels comfy for you. I'm going to stay right here for the duration of this pose and stretch out my glutes. And I'm just going to relax here. I might even tuck it underneath my arms and just let myself flop over the bolster. It's really comfy that way. And who says you can't flop in yoga, right? This is a perfect place to flop. If not at home, right? Slowly make your way back up. You can always press pause if you want to stay here longer. I know for some of us it takes a lot of work to get into pigeon, so you might as well take your time. So to get out, we're just going to lean onto the right hip, turn that left knee, and bring it back into that stacked position. All right, so second side, let's come back onto the knees. We're going to walk over to the right and lay that left hip down. So again, first option is to separate the knees slightly and just frame the left knee and hang on to that block. Second option is to bring that left knee forward a little bit more, straighten your back leg, and then turn onto the front of your right knee until you feel your hips are squared, chest facing forward, and lower onto the ground or on your block, pillows or whatever. Take a deep breath and a deep breath out. Breathe into your low back. Feel the stretch in your left glute. Notice what you're holding on to and let it go. Slowly begin to lift yourself up. Sit on your left hip. Draw your right knee in, and we will have a seat. So once you come into a seated position, we're going to place the feet together for butterfly pose. Let's bring the knees out, sitting up tall. We'll reach forward and allow ourselves to bend into a fold. Now, a fold doesn't mean a crumpled receipt that someone's thrown into their pocket. It means that we want to keep the spine long. We want to hinge from the hips and try to kind of reach forward through the length of the spine. And then exhale, come down and explore a little more range. Now, if you don't have any more range and you're a little bit rigid around your low back and your hips, you might be a little bit higher up. And you can stay there and then begin to round forward. So make it really relaxed. The reason why we find length first is because a lot of times when we're sitting, the spine curls into the pelvis, and that's sort of our habit. So in order to get more length and stay in a stretch, we want to get a little bit unfurled from that pelvic bowl before we come into the bend. So just something to think about. Once you found your position, let yourself relax, let your shoulders drop, let your head be heavy, maybe let your arms come down in more of a position of surrender. Breathe deeply along the length of your spine and exhale to relax, release, and let go. Let's come on up nice and slow. We'll come into a seated position. We're just going to do a few stretches for the neck and shoulders. So we're going to go ahead and place the hands behind the back. So interlace the fingers, roll the shoulder heads back and look forward. Take a deep breath. Deep breath out. Try to get those shoulder blades to kiss behind you and broaden the collarbones. Slowly release, and then from here, just roll those shoulders up and back. And the other direction. Let's start with some head tilts. So take the right ear to the right shoulder, and we'll take the right hand with the palm up. We're going to just lift it up and place that hand gently on the side of the head. You don't want to push or yank, but it's just the natural weight of your arm helping to open up the left side of your neck. Take a deep breath. Deep breath out. Slowly bring yourself back up to center. We're going to do the other side. So left ear down, take the left hand up and over and just place it gently on top of the head. Slowly release, bring the hands up, the head up, and then we'll take some half circles. So drop the head to the right, look down and roll the head over to the left. Stop, and then roll down, cross over to the right. And again. Try to match your breathing with this movement. So you'd inhale on the shoulder side. Exhale as you cross over. Inhale the shoulder. And exhale down and around. Good. Let's drop the head, bring it up, and we'll make our way down to the floor on our backs for Shavasana. So let's lay ourselves down. We're going to hug the knees into the chest for Apanasana. Place the feet down on the floor, and then you can choose to have them bent, or you can have the legs long, splay the feet off to the sides, and turn your palms up to the sky. Begin by breathing deep into your belly, the middle, then fill up all the way to your neck and shoulders. Exhale slowly back out, taking your time. Think about letting go of all of your worries or concerns. Focus on this rhythm, this space that you've created in your mind, your body, your heart, giving you more room perhaps for new perspectives, changes of attitude, maybe more gratitude for where we are now, for our health and the safety of our homes, solidarity with friends, even from a distance. If you'd like to stay here longer, please press pause. Otherwise, I wish you all the peace and contentment for this day to be with you in your thoughts, words, and heart. Namaste.